Hi, and welcome back to On the Edge. I'm your host, Lauren Deal. Thanks for joining us today as we feature another happiness hero, working to make our community a better place. Adam Zurn joins us again to share some insight into Lancaster's surprising history and update us on his various adventures. We give you more information on how you can give back to the Lancaster community with our 717-411. Now please enjoy this episode's happiness hero. On this episode of On the Edge with Lauren, we have a very special guest.
Hi, I'm Emily Landis, the Executive Director of the Lancaster Science Factory. Science Factory is a nonprofit science center located in downtown Lancaster. Our mission is to inspire curiosity, creativity, and confidence by fostering an inclusive environment for hands-on STEM exploration. So we're all about STEM here at the Science Factory, and we're all about fun.
Isn't that what learning is all about, is being able to try something without fear of messing up? And even if you do mess up, that's part of the fun. You're learning through the process, and making a mess is probably the best part. But you said you had 75 hands-on exhibits?
That's right. Yeah, we just expanded in 2019. And so we have more than 50% more space and a lot of new exhibits. So behind me, you can see our flight zone. There's actually a paper airplane, a launcher, and a wind tube. And there's a lot of things related to air. We added a new water lab, and I can share some photos of that. The water lab is full of all sorts of activities, and water is really like catnip for kids and adults. So there's a lot of open play. We added a topographic sandbox, which is a virtual reality exhibit. You have to see it. And we really love our interactive dance floor. So it collects your body's movement energy. You dance on it, and you can transform it into a photograph or a competition. So it's really fun.
That is so neat. So it sounds like you have different themes that evolve as you come. So if you came and there was like a wind themed time, maybe if you come the next time, will there be a different theme?
Exactly. Yeah, we try to do a different theme every week. And all summer long, we also have STEM camps. So the STEM camps, there's usually at least 20 different topics, everything from slime. Everyone's got to love slime. We make 3 unique slimes a day, 5 days a week. And we do bridge building. So the kids will build a different bridge every single day and cap it off with a tour of high steel. So we're also trying to build those workforce connections and give them some ideas of what they might want to be when they grow up, and encourage some interest in STEM fields.
I love that all children are available to try all these things, and that your themes evolve. And so if you are watching and you're thinking, oh, I've been to the Science Factory, you haven't been this week, have you? You've got to go back and check it out. Emily's talking about all new themes, but also the expansion of the Science Factory. So if you've gone before COVID, there's all new exhibits to see. And how many staff members are there to help you while you're at the Science Factory?
Yeah, we have 2 full-time STEM educators. So they're the ones leading all of these dynamic hands-on programs, including the camps all summer long. So they have special areas of expertise in things like robotics or computer science. We've been offering a program on coding and creating your own video games that's very popular. So our 2 STEM educators are rock stars, and they are just pros at making learning fun and sharing it in a way that's really exciting. So it's all about hands-on engagement rather than just sitting and passively receiving knowledge.
Yes. I think that this is the future of learning, and especially with COVID, where everyone is looking for new ways to experience STEM. If you're not in a classroom and you're a parent who's doing virtual learning, this would be the perfect way to show what's in the textbook to your child. And aren't there a lot of free access programs that are involved with the Lancaster Science Factory?
So the Science Factory has a variety of programs that make us accessible to everyone in Lancaster County and beyond. So we're free for all youth-serving nonprofits in Lancaster County. That might be Boys and Girls Club. The list goes on. There's more than 150. We're free for all schools in the school district of Lancaster. We're free for all 6th grade classes because we feel like that is a great capstone for your elementary school learning to come out to the Science Factory and really get excited about STEM. We also have free passes in all of the 17 library locations. So you can go there, check out a family 4-pack and come visit us. Yeah, take advantage of those programs for sure.
Well, didn't you also say that there's a homework club that you're involved with at the Science Factory?
Yeah, well, especially in response to COVID-19, a lot of kiddos are doing virtual learning or they've had hybrid schedules. The whole school year has just been disrupted in so many ways. So on Wednesdays, we're hosting a homework club where students can be online with their classes, and then there's breaks for our STEM educators lead awesome activities. They have full access to the entire Hall of Science, all the exhibits and the breaks, and they get help with their homework too. So we're just trying to create this really supportive, positive space that might be outside of the house as a nice break.
Well, that is wonderful. Parents who are parenting, utilize this tool on Wednesdays. You can hop on. And what time can they do that? Or is there a specific time?
Oh, we're pretty flexible. We've made it so that they can drop off and pick up whenever they would like.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, parents, you're hearing this. Wednesdays are going to be your favorite day of the week. Now, Science Factory has been around for how long?
Yeah, we've been around since 2008. And so we opened our doors in what was a former Armstrong factory, hence the name Science Factory. And so you can still see, sort of the past use. We've tried to preserve that. It's really fun. But yeah, we've been around for about 13 years now and recently expanded. We have plans to expand further. Stay tuned for 2022. Lauren, you'll have to come out. We're creating an outdoor courtyard with exhibits on a theme of environmental sustainability. There'll be all sorts of rain gardens. There will be a 100-foot long mural showcasing our watershed that I think will be really beautiful. So these improvements are coming soon too.
Absolutely. And you're also breaking gender stereotypes, which I really appreciate. You have a girls' coding club.
Yeah. This is a program I'm super passionate about. I helped launch it more than 5 years ago with the help of the lead instructor, who's just phenomenal. She is a professional in computer science, and we both kind of looked at the field and said, "Wow, girls are leaving in droves, and there's not a lot of women professionally in the field. In fact, it's dramatically reduced in the past 30 years." So we decided we wanted to do something about it, and we needed to start by seeking out girls that might have an interest. So our focus is girls 8 to 13, and they meet up once a month for 9 months, and they learn all the basics of coding, and they create their own websites. So they learn HTML, CSS, they're picking up Java, Ruby, and they really have this chance to have camaraderie and look around a room and see all girls coding. And so it normalizes it, and it is pretty fun. Their websites are really impressive.
That is neat. And talk about opening up new doors in a field that they might not have known was an employment option. Something that they enjoy, something that they're good at, and then something that they can be employed by.
Oh yeah, it's all about building the confidence and then that interest. By the end of the program, they're like, "Oh, okay, I got this. I understand what it's all about, and I can do it."
And you have quite a number of graduates, something like 250 coding graduates.
That's right. Yeah, there's been a lot of interest. So the first year we thought, oh, we're not sure how many girls will be interested. We opened it up to 25, and we sold out in an afternoon. So we doubled that, and we've had at least 50 girls every year, as many as 75 girls participating. So we have a lead instructor and an assistant instructor who is usually a female computer science major at a local university. And then we recruit a whole variety of female volunteers that are additional role models that are in the classroom encouraging them. So the girls have a blast. Everyone that's part of it just says that it's a great experience. So yeah, more than 250 girls to date. So we're building that pipeline. Here we go, Lauren.
I'm hoping that after this show airs, that many more girls will become involved. And ladies, let's band together and hope that more women join the STEM field, opening up those doors and breaking all the ceilings. Speaking of breaking all the ceilings, with your expansion, you have so many new exhibits, such as an engineering zone and a water lab. Can you tell us about how that has expanded and where that idea generated from?
Yeah, so back in 2017, we started planning an expansion to the Science Factory because we were already seeing so many visitors and so much interest in our experience and STEM education. We had really turned a corner and there was just this big interest from the community. So we knocked down the wall in the back of the Science Factory. Folks that came before, it's wide open now, so you have to come. And we built a brand new maker space, so this classroom that's full of tools and tech. And then we renovated even the current space. Everything's new and moved to new locations, and we have lots of new colorful finishes. So we have new exhibits in the back. Our engineering zone involves a lot of connects, an engineering building, including an earthquake zone. So you can build a structure and then test it through an earthquake to see if it withstands all that shaking. So that is a big hit. You can play with Kinects for hours at the Science Factory, and they are a great engineering learning tool.
So what hours of the day are you open?
Yeah, between Memorial Day and Labor Day, we are open 7 days a week. So that's 10 to 5 every day except for Sunday, 12 to 5. During the school year, we're open 12 to 7 Wednesdays through Fridays, and then Saturdays and Sundays, those normal hours. So we're open 5 days a week, and we are accepting private field trips during the times that we are closed. So this is a COVID adjustment. If there's groups that are looking for a space where there's no one else, they can come to the 18,000 square foot Science Factory and explore. So reaching out to those folks too.
Excellent. I will put up some information at the bottom of our screen right now. You can check out the LancasterScienceFactory.com and check it out. And also, you can kind of scroll through some of their gallery and see their photos, and also find out when would work for you to come visit. Emily, thank you so much for joining us on this episode, and we look forward to hearing from you in the future. A big thanks to this episode's Happiness Hero. Now, next up, we hear from Adam Zurn, who is back with Uncharted Lancaster to share his adventures from all over Lancaster County. So welcome to this episode of Uncharted Lancaster.
Hi, Lauren. It's great to be back. Now, today I have a treasure hunting story for you, and supposedly it's true. So, interesting thing. So in 1777, there was a wealthy landowner in York County by the name of James Rankin. He owned lots of property, a tavern, a ferry crossing across the Susquehanna, and one of his crown jewel properties was this 387-acre estate. And right there, you can kind of see today, it's the center of it would be Route 30, and like where the oh geez, let me start that over there. The spot would be where Route 30 and Harley Davidson is. It's kind of where the epicenter of his property would be. So at this time, the Revolutionary War has been going on. George Washington and his forces have been having a rough go of it. A difficult time at Valley Forge. Not enough clothing, not enough food, and all these things. And so the Continental Congress decides that they want to basically enact these confiscation laws, that if you are not an American patriot, we're going to confiscate your land, your wealth, and your everything, and basically make it illegal to be a British loyalist. Now, when you learn about American history in elementary school, it's very black and white, and sort of get this idea that there was the Boston Tea Party, and then the next day, everyone joined the patriot cause, 100% of the people. And that just isn't the truth at all. Life is so gray. We see it today with politics. So, at the time, about really only 1/3 of the population was a patriot. The other third was a British loyalist. And then there was just another third that just didn't care. Like, it just didn't have any real impact on their life. If you weren't on a coastal city and you were really far inland, it just didn't matter to you. So, the Continental Congress suggested they pass these confiscation laws, and at this point, they didn't have the power to do that themselves, so all the states had to do it. And Pennsylvania, of course, along with the other 12 states, passed their own confiscation law. And James Rankin decided that he'd better hide all of his, gold and silver somewhere on his property because, he was definitely going to be a candidate for one of these confiscation laws. And it was a good thing that he did because shortly after that, he was arrested for A, being a British loyalist, but also he was implicated in a plot to bring British troops across the Susquehanna on his ferry to the city of York. Now, at first, that seems a little weird. Like, well, what military value does the city of York have in like 1770, 1778? And it happened to be that that's where the Continental Congress was meeting at the time. So Howell was going to invade Philadelphia, which he did, and the Continental Congress fled west. They spent the day on September 27th, 1777 in Lancaster, decided that wasn't far enough away, and went across the Susquehanna River and ended up staying in York for about 9 months. And so, the Continental Congress is meeting there. And so this could have been a major change in the Revolutionary War had this plot gone through. British troops come across, they capture the Continental Congress, and that theoretically could have been the end of the conflict right there in favor of the British. Luckily that, for all of us, that doesn't happen. And so James Rankin is arrested and jailed, and then interestingly, he somehow escapes. And I can't seem to find any record of how he pulled this amazing stunt off, but he did escape. So he flees to British troops, and then he crosses the Atlantic and is going to wait out the war in England, with the plan being, once the British crush this rebellion, I'll head home, dig up my gold and silver, and things will be great. Luckily, George Washington had a different idea on that and said, no, I don't think so. And, we won the war. So supposedly the rumor is that his wealth is sitting out there somewhere in York County. And every now and then, and the most recent being in 1908, they found an English guinea in a field near his property. Because at that point, you're like, it's just another story. But then on occasion, people are finding some gold coins out there. So, geez, maybe he did bury his treasure out there. Now, supposedly, years after the war ended, his son came over here and perhaps found what I think is only maybe some of the treasure, because again, they're finding pieces of it later in, like I said, 1908. And the reports at the time said, well, his son came and then shortly later started living much better than, the way he was when he got there. So perhaps he claimed some of it. But we've got a great on-the-edge adventure for all the viewers out there, and I think maybe I've pinpointed where they can find some of this treasure. So they're going to need this digit here to help unlock the passcode to the website, and they're going to want to go to the Uncharted Lancaster website, and there's going to be some, punch in the password, and they can reveal the location of the treasure and see if they can find it before, the Continental Congress finds it and takes it from them or something.
Oh, I am on the edge of my seat. This is so exciting. And so just to recap, we've got to go to unchartedlancaster.com, use the passcode that Adam just held up, and it will unlock an opportunity for you to get some clues. Now, Adam, if we are starting our adventure, once they get the passcode, what do they start to do? What's the next step?
All right, so once they've got all the digits of the passcode that they're getting throughout this episode, they're going to enter that in the website, unlock the page, and that's going to kind of tell them where to go. And they're going to have a map there, and they're going to kind of need to decode that map to find out exactly where this, loot box of silver and gold is hidden, and so they can claim a piece of the treasure for themselves. So there'll be a GPS location and then some hints on a map for them to figure that all out. So should be a grand adventure and fun for the whole family, going out and finding some buried treasure and then riding off into the sunset while they're whistling that Raiders of the Lost Ark theme.
Yes. All right. Well, now I'm ready to go. I've got some of my passcode and we're off to the races, right?
We're off to the races. Don't forget your whip and fedora.
I'm to get my Adam fedora. Now, on the level of fedora difficulty, where would this be?
This is going to be about 3 fedoras hard. So there's going to be some hiking. You're going to be hiking off the trail a little bit. You're going to have to, poke your head in some places and hunt around in some debris. But definitely not the hardest, but, definitely going to require some walking, probably about 2 miles to track this treasure down.
All right, we'll get your pedometer set and let's get going. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Uncharted Lancaster, Adam, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thanks. I'll see you later.
See you, Adam. Thanks to Adam for sharing his adventures with everyone. Next, we have our 717-411, where we try to focus on supporting a community member who's doing wonderful things in the area.
So today on our episode, we have a very special guest. Hi, I'm Michelle Renee. I operate Michelle Renee Designs and Alterations in Red Lion.
Excellent. We're excited to have you. I'm already spying some amazing creations behind you. So tell us about what you do.
Well, I do alterations for brides. It's a part of my main business. So a lot of girls will bring in a dress that they've purchased somewhere else, and I'll do their hem, or I'll take in the bust or do a bustle. But then I also do redesign work. So they might buy something off the rack and they want it zhuzhed up and made differently. I also do redesign of heritage fabrics. So I have girls that bring in their mother's dress or their grandmother's dress, and I redesign that so they can wear it for their reception or for their ceremony. And then I also do custom work. So my main studio is located in Red Lion and it's attached to my house. And then I have two satellite studios, one in Lancaster and one in Harrisburg, that I only operate when I have appointments there. So you'll find me sewing early in the morning, late at night. The fabric talks to me, says, come out and do a stitch.
Well, so I see some pieces behind you. Would you like to bring some into focus and show us about some of the pieces that you're proud of? It seems like those are beautiful.
She's for a pageant that actually got canceled last year, rescheduled for this year, but they're hoping, in the next few months. She's a two-piece sequins, full ball gown skirt, and she's a lovely girl that I'm designing it for. So she's not completely finished yet. The other pieces that I have come this way.
I imagine that each fabric that you work with is different when it comes to sewing.
It is. It's very different. This is just a concept piece that we're playing around with. She'll probably be in a photo shoot, but she's just for fun. It was kind of like filling in my time. Why don't we play around with this?
Is it a lace fabric with what is a tulle on the bottom? I'm new to this.
Let me see if I can lift her up a bit.
Wow.
A full skirt with an underlay of lace and then some satin.
Oh my goodness, beautiful. Do you do custom designs if a woman wanted to come in and say, this is my vision, can you make it come to life?
Yes. Yes, that's one of my favorite things to do is the custom pieces, because so many girls have an idea of what they want to wear, but they just don't know how it's going to fit their body form. So they'll go in, and I'll even suggest it to my custom girls. Go and try on dresses, figure out what fits. They're like, well, I like the bodice of this one, but I want the skirt of that one, and I want the train of that one, and can you do this with it? And I say, yeah, sure.
I imagine that COVID has affected this business in many ways. Yeah. But you kind of are also in the business of giving women hope, which is so lovely, and also giving women the opportunity to feel beautiful. This has to be a very empowering job for you, seeing the smiles of the women that come in and out of your shop.
It is. I mean, I was asked many, many years ago, why do you do what you do? And I would tell that person, I do it for the bride's smile. So I do it for whatever client's smile. It's when you put a garment on them that fits correctly, their whole attitude changes. They come in with something that's just hanging on them, like it would be like hanging on the hanger. There's no form, there's no fit. And that could be anything from a bridal gown to something off the rack. And once I'm able to adjust it, bring it in a little bit, move something, their whole, I don't know what the word for it is, but they did just lighten up.
Glow, yes.
Oh, there we go, the glow. So people ask me, what do you do for a living? Do you design clothes? And I say, yes, I do. And they say, well, what sizes do you make? I said, I don't make sizes. I make garments that fit.
Ooh, that's a statement.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite things. They say, oh, well, what size is that? I'm a 10. I'm like, well, does it fit? And they say, yes. And I said, well, then it's a 10. There really are numbers with what I do.
I feel like also sizes, when you bring reference to that, with bridal gowns or just formal gowns, there's a different sizing scale than if you go to a department store. Is that correct?
Completely. There's completely different. I mean, you have your off-the-rack sizes that you wear from any department store. Even ordering online these days it feels like a completely different size. And when you go to bridal, this is horrible to say, but if you wear like a 10 off the rack, you could wear a 12 or a 14 or a 16.
It's amazing, women's empowerment and how just a number can be so impactful. And you have the ability to make the woman look past the number and just see the beauty of the dress. Which,
Right.
thank you for doing that.
Numbers can be so detrimental. We just have to get past that stigma and wear what feels good.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of On the Edge. If you know someone in our community who deserves to be featured on the show, please contact us by using this social media. I'm Lauren, and until next time, stay on the edge.